Hello, eighth grade. Guys, guess what? It's the last Monday of the school year. You did it. You guys are all leaving me and going to the high school next year. At least I hope you all are. Um, I don't even know what to say about that. I'll do a longer video either tomorrow or Wednesday. Um, But your class, your group has honestly, I've had a lot of different groups in my 11 or 12 years teaching. And guys, your group has probably been the best that I've ever had. And this group is going to be the one that I am going to miss the most. Um, yeah, I can't say much more. Otherwise, I'm going to start crying. And you guys don't want that. I might cry on Wednesday. Um, okay, so we are moving on to the Vietnam War. I know, you're like, oh, hold on, Mrs. McClear. We just finished World War II, and then we talked about the Cold War, and now we're talking about a Vietnam War. Yes, I know. We're moving fast, so we're kind of skimming over some things and skipping some things. But remember, the Cold War was, we were trying to get communism under control, and it wasn't actually a war with fighting. It was just a year of some really tight tensions between the United States and some other countries based on communism. Um, okay, so let's move on. Ooh, there we go. Kennedy confronts communism. President Kennedy was devoted to stopping communism. He used military forces and non military programs, such as the Peace Corps. In 1959, Fidel Castro organized a communist government in Cuba. The CIA began training Cuban exiles to invade the island. However, the invasion, which occurred at the Bay of Pigs, was a disaster. The Soviet Union threatened to take over West Berlin in 1961. When the Soviets were unable to do so, the Berlin Wall was created. In 1962, the Cuban Missile Crisis lasted for 13 days and ended when the Soviet Union stopped placing nuclear weapons in Cuba. The crisis led to the Limited Nuclear Test Ban Treaty. Race to the Moon. One aspect of the Cold War during the 1960s was the space race. In 1961, the Soviet Union sent the first man, Yuri Gagarin, into space. Then, in 1961, Alan Shepard Jr. made the first American spaceflight. John Glenn orbited Earth in 1962. In 1969, Neil Armstrong and Edwin Buzz Aldrin became the first people to walk on the moon. Conflict in Vietnam. One of the most serious and devastating events of the Cold War took place in Vietnam. After World War II, Ho Chi Minh led nationalists to take Vietnam from the French. He wanted to establish a communist government. The United States supported the French with military aid because of the domino theory. The French surrendered in 1954, and Vietnam was divided into North Vietnam and South Vietnam. The United States hoped that Ngo Dinh Diem would win elections. He would then be able to unify Vietnam under a non-communist government. When Diem canceled elections in South Vietnam, a civil war began. South Vietnamese troops fought the Viet Cong, who were supplied by the North. The United States sent military supplies and advisors to South Vietnam. Diem began to lose popularity. In November 1963, military officers took power. just to kind of consolidate a little bit. I think I'm going to throw in a super short, like as short as I can find, video about the Vietnam War for today, Monday. And then this is the last reading of the year. Woohoo! On Wednesday, we need to move on to civil rights movements of 1950s and 1960s. And that is going to be with a video and just a few Google form questions. Today's reading, there's only 6 Google form questions, I think. So go get that done. Watch the short video on Vietnam if I can find one I like. And then have a great rest of your day. And I'll see you Tuesday with a review. Bye.